In the quiet suburbs of Greater Manchester, England, where families trusted their doctors like family, Harold Shipman built a reputation as a caring general practitioner. To his patients, he was Dr. Fred, attentive, house-calling, and seemingly devoted to the elderly. But beneath this facade lurked a monster, one who wielded his stethoscope, not as a tool of healing, but as an instrument of demise. Over nearly 3 decades, Shipman would become one of history's most prolific serial unalivers, claiming an estimated 215 lives with chilling precision and impunity. This is the story of how a man sworn to do no harm became the embodiment of betrayal, a tale that shattered the sanctity of the doctor-patient bond, and forced a nation to confront the darkness hidden in plain sight. Shipman was born in 1946, in Nottingham, England, the second of 3 children in a working-class family. His father, Harold Sr., was a lorry driver, and his mother, Vera, was a devout Methodist, who instilled in young Harold a sense of superiority, often reminding him he was special. The family lived modestly, but Vera's ambitions for her son were grand. Harold excelled academically, though he was socially awkward, preferring solitude to the rough and tumble of playground games. Tragedy struck when Harold was 17 as Vera was diagnosed with lung cancer. He watched helplessly as she withered away, her pain eased only by regular injections administered by a visiting doctor. In those final months, Harold sat by her bedside, observing the medication's power to grant merciful release. Vera died in June 1963, an event that, some speculate, planted the seeds of his future obsessions, a fascination with control over suffering and demise. Determined to follow in the footsteps of the doctors who had tended to his mother, Shipman enrolled at Leeds University Medical School in 1965. He was an unremarkable student, but diligent enough to graduate in 1970. That same year, he married Primrose, a shy teenager he met on a bus. They would go on to have 4 children. Shipman's early career began at Pontefract General Infirmary, where he worked as a junior house officer. It was here, in the sterile corridors of the hospital, that his dark impulses may have first manifested. Between 1971 and 1974, Shipman is suspected of unaliving at least 15 elderly patients through extremely high doses of pain meds, though these early crimes went undetected amid the chaos of hospital routines. He continued to administer high doses of prescription-only meds, watching as life ebbed away, then calmly certified the demise as natural, heart failure, pneumonia or old age. In 1974, Shipman moved to Todmorden, Yorkshire, joining a medical centre as a general practitioner. At first, he seemed promising, young, energetic, and popular with patients. But cracks soon appeared. Shipman had developed a secret addiction to a powerful painkiller. He forged prescriptions to feed his habit, injecting himself frequently. In 1975, his colleagues discovered the fraud. Shipman was arrested, convicted of obtaining meds by deception, and fined £600. Approximately $808, which is $4,900 in today's money. Astonishingly, the General Medical Council allowed him to keep his license after he underwent brief psychiatric treatment. He claimed his actions stemmed from depression, but it was a harbinger of deeper issues. During his time in Todmorden, Shipman unalived at least 1 patient and is suspected in 6 more, all elderly women who passed away suddenly after his visits. Undeterred, Shipman relocated in 1977 to Hyde, a gritty industrial town near Manchester, joining another medical centre. Here, he thrived outwardly, building a list of over 3,000 patients who adored his bedside manner. He made house calls at all hours, listened patiently to complaints, and seemed especially fond of his older female patients, who were widows living alone, vulnerable and trusting. But this was where his unaliving spree accelerated. From 1978 onward, Shipman unalived at least 71 patients in the group practice, administering medications sourced from excess prescriptions, or meds stockpiled from patients who'd passed away. His method was meticulously calculated. He'd arrive at a patient's house unannounced, or, on a pretext and then chat amiably, before administering the fatal dose via syringe, often in the arm or thigh. Victims slipped into unconsciousness within minutes, their breathing slowing to a stop. Shipman would sit composedly, perhaps holding their hand, watching their slow demise. Afterwards, he'd falsify medical records on his computer, backdating entries to invent symptoms like chest pain or frailty, ensuring the passing away appeared natural. The unalivings followed a pattern, mostly women over 70, alone at home, with no witnesses. Shipman targeted those without close family scrutiny, certifying causes like old age or stroke to avoid autopsies. In one chilling case, he killed Eva Lyons, 70, on her birthday in 1979, injecting her while her husband napped nearby. Another victim, Lizzie Adams, 77, passed away in 1986 after Shipman claimed she had a heart attack during an examination, but toxicology later revealed massive prescription-only pain medication levels. His motives remain shrouded in mystery. Prosecutors argued it was the thrill of power, the godlike control over life and demise. Shipman never confessed, but his actions suggested a compulsion, perhaps rooted in his mother's passing, to ease suffering on his terms, or simply, to unalive. By 1993, Shipman's medical partners grew increasingly uneasy with his brusque style and high cremation rates. He preferred cremations to destroy evidence, and tensions eventually boiled over. He left to open a solo practice on Market Street, where oversight vanished. Now unchecked, Shipman's unaliving rate surged. Between 1993 and 1998, he unalived over 140 more patients, sometimes multiple in a week. The town whispered about the curse on his patients, so much sudden demise, yet no one connected the dots. However, funeral directors noticed the odd positions of bodies, fully clothed and slumped in chairs, but dismissed it as eccentricity. Shipman's charisma shielded him. Patients flocked to him, praising his dedication. The unraveling began in March 1998. Dr. Reynolds, from a nearby medical practice, grew alarmed. Her surgery shared undertakers with Shipman, and the numbers didn't add up. His demise rate was triple or more than hers, with patients passing away alone after his visits. Funeral director Massey echoed concerns about some of the body's conditions. Reynolds reported the suspicions to the coroner, who in turn alerted police. The Greater Manchester Police opened up an investigation in March. They checked records, interviewed Shipman, who was calm and cooperative, and found no hard evidence. No bodies were exhumed, and the case was closed in April. Tragically, Shipman went on to unalive 3 more women. Winifred, 73, Joan, 73, and Kathleen, 81. Kathleen's unaliving on June 24, 1998, was Shipman's final mistake. The wealthy former mayoress was found passed away in her armchair after Shipman's visit, supposedly from old age. But days later, her daughter, Angela, a solicitor, received a crudely forged will naming Shipman as sole beneficiary of her mother's £386,000, approximately $522,000, estate. Suspicious, Angela alerted police. This time, they dug deeper. Kathleen's body was exhumed, and a toxicology report revealed massive amounts of prescription medication had been administered. Shipman's computer showed frantic backdating of records. A search of his home uncovered a typewriter matching the forged will and stockpiled meds. On September 7, 1998, Shipman was arrested. He denied everything, even smirking during interrogations. As evidence mounted, charges piled up. His trial began October 5, 1999, at Preston Crown Court. Over 4 months, 120 witnesses testified. Angela's steely account set the tone. Pathologists detailed the method used, and experts debunked the forged will. Shipman's defense claimed mercy unalivings or accidents, but it crumbled. On January 31, 2000, after 6 days of deliberation, the jury convicted him of 15 unalivings and 1 forgery. The judge sentenced him to life imprisonment with a whole life tariff, stating, "In your case, life must mean life." Shipman showed no remorse, staring blankly as families wept. But 15 convictions were just the tip. The government launched the Shipman inquiry in 2000, chaired by Dame Janet Smith. Over 5 years, it examined 888 passings, concluding Shipman had unlawfully unalived 215 patients, mostly women, aged 49 to 93, with 45 more suspicious. The inquiry exposed systemic failures, lax prescription medication controls, unquestioned passing certifications, and a General Medical Council too lenient on doctors. Reforms followed. Tighter medication monitoring, mandatory inquests for unexpected passings, and family involvement in certifications. On January 13, 2004, on the eve of his 58th birthday, Shipman unalived himself in Wakefield Prison using bedsheets tied to his cell window. He left no note, denying closure to victims' families. His wife, Primrose, who stood by him, received his pension until her passing in 2019. Shipman's legacy is a scar on medicine. He eroded trust, prompting Shipman-proof safeguards worldwide. Yet questions linger. Why did he commit these crimes? Was it addiction, ego, or pure evil? Please like and subscribe for more true crime, and let me know your thoughts in the comments section.